Guys, if you're a life insurance agent, I'm not hating on you. I don't dislike you. The thing is, your agencies, your three-letter agencies, your IMOs, your uplines, your everyone that you're involved with, they're teaching you to do the wrong thing because of overrides. So let's say we have a 30-year-old female. The rule of thumb is 10 times your age to put into a cash value life insurance policy. Now, I'm not even going to talk about should you do cash value life insurance or not. We're just going to say that this person actually does need cash value life insurance. So the rule of thumb is 10 times your age. So if someone's 30, that's $300 per month to get them any kind of growth by the time that they are 65 or retired, and that will give them some kind of tax-free income. So you have a thing called a guideline annual premium or a GLAP or a GAP, whatever you want to call it. That is the cap. That's your 7702 rate. If you decide to do $300 a month, it's $3,600.01 per year should be your guideline annual premium. What that does is it lowers the cost of insurance and fees down to the legal limit. That way their money can grow as much as possible. So let me tell you the reason why you do this. One, it's the right thing to do. It's going to give the client the most amount of growth. Two, what it does is it builds up so much rapport with your client whenever you say, hey, this policy cannot be written any better at all by anyone anywhere. What that does too is it builds up your referral source because once you set that policy up and they 100% understand it, they know the GLAP, they know it's 7702, they know this policy cannot be done better, and then you say, hey, most taboo thing in this world is to people talk about finances and retirement. I just want you to know that most likely some of your friends would need something like this. So if you don't mind, before we get this done, will you pull out your phone, put me in a three-way text with 5 or 6 people you know? So now instead of you raking one person over the coals, raising that target premium up as much as possible to give you the most amount of commission, what you're doing is you're spreading yourself wider instead of taller. So instead of having these huge targets where I come in and replace them because I guarantee you I will, now you have that charge back. And if you're watching this and you're not an agent, if someone gets paid $3,000 for a life insurance policy and you cancel it within the first 30 days, they have to pay it all back. And then if you pay monthly and at the end of the year you decide to cancel it before the year is up, they have to either pay back a pro rate or all the income that they made. But not only does it spread you wider, meaning you get more policies, more commission total, you're helping more people and you're doing it correctly and your business can't be replaced. The only way your business can be replaced is if one of these Primerica agents come in and say, trash value life insurance isn't worth it. And if you buy term and invest the difference, you'll get more money whenever you retire. That's a whole different story. We'll talk about that later. Just ask yourself that common sense question. I ask people in my firm all the time, would you rather have a bunch of money today or a bunch of money long term? Because most people, they'll come into the industry, they'll write bad policies, they'll get the chargebacks, they'll go upside down. They'll go so negative and get in so much debt, they have to go back to work at Walmart, McDonald's. And hey, if you're working there, nothing against you. You need to build more skills. That way you're worth more money and people will pay you what you're worth. In this industry, you get paid what you're worth. The more time and effort you put into this industry, the more you get paid. So now if we look at persistency rates, you don't know what a persistency is, it's how much your business stays on the books. So let's say you put 100 policies on the books. On average, final expense, meaning the death insurance, like you're 70 years old, you want to make sure that your burial's covered, 60% of those charge back. So you get to keep 40%. That's a 40% persistency ratio. Term insurance has a really high persistency because it's so cheap, people just forget about it. But you have to remember that only 2% of term policies pay out. So if you're that type of person, you're like, hey, I want to put this client in the best type of life insurance that they need, just think about that. So whenever I rip on these social media accounts that are saying just $100 a week for the rest of your life to the age of 65 will get you $2 million of cash value and produce $180,000 of tax-free income forever. If you go to these carriers illustration softwares and you put those dollar amounts in for that age, that is exactly what you get. So no, they're probably not wrong. $100 a week or $400 a month from the age of 18 to 65 and you get a really good rate of return, 7 or 8%, then yes, that could happen. If you say $100 a week will get you, that's not fair to people that actually know what they're doing. Because if you're securities licensed, you have a Series 63, 65, whatever, Series 7, you technically can't talk about cash value life insurance in that way. You can't talk about it growing cash value. For one, it's not an investment. Life insurance is not an investment. It's an alternative asset class that you can save money in tax free. So it's not fair whenever a fiduciary, someone who legally has to do right by you, can't talk about this type of stuff. One, it's not fair to them. Two, since they are licensed in so many different things and they can do so many different things for you, they can't even get you in the door because life insurance agents are saying, this indexed universal life policy will completely set you free and it's the best thing since sliced bread. Now you're trusting somebody that's underqualified. That's like going to Walmart to get your oil changed and there's a 19-year-old kid in there that barely even knows how to loosen or tighten your bolt. They make a mess, and you go ahead and say, hey, on the side, can you go ahead and replace my motor? I say all that to say the life insurance agents aren't evil. There's always evil people in every organization. You need to take a really good look at who you're trying to work with, if they are a life insurance agent or if they say that they're a financial professional, because financial professional is literally the highest rank you can give yourself as a life insurance agent, as a home and auto agent, as a health insurance agent. That's the highest title you can give yourself and be legally compliant. If you say advisor, now you have to be series licensed. You could lose your license and get a fine. So you need to hold your financial professional to the highest standard as possible. Me personally, whenever I'm on a call with a client and they're like, hey, I want this indexed universal life policy, I don't really care if I need it, I just want it. So what I do is I walk through the full illustration. Hey, here's page 2. This is what this means. Here's page 7. This is what this means. Here's non-guaranteed versus guaranteed. Here's the policy loan provision. Here's a index loan versus a fixed loan. What does a fixed loan mean? It means it's recognized versus non-recognized. Here's the guideline annual premium. It means you're capped. And they're like, hey, I want more flexibility, so when I make more money, I can put more into it. Don't do that. You want a little bit of flexibility? Just a little bit. Okay, but if you're telling me I want twice or 3 times the flexibility of my annual input, so if I'm putting $5,000 a year in, I want to be able to put $10,000 to $15,000 in there, this policy is not going to work well for you. And I've actually had clients do that, and I did not like it, and I told them before I did it that I did not approve of this policy, and they did it anyway. So one more tidbit for you insurance agents that are trying to do the right thing. If you are trying to set up a policy for someone and they want the flexibility, but you're afraid of their insurability in the future, what you do is you set up a 7702 life insurance policy, whether it's whole life, whether it's index universal life, let's say $500 a month. You want to set that guideline annual premium to $6,000 a year. It's going to lower their expenses and fees to the legal limitation to give them the most amount of growth over their lifetime. Now, go find a carrier that has a good convertible term policy. If they're younger, 30 years. If they're older, 20, 10 years. Get them a term policy for the amount of death benefit you had in their life insurance policy, their IUL or their whole life. So let's say that death benefit's 300 grand. Go get them a $300,000 term policy that's convertible. That way, in 5, 10 years, whenever they want to set up a new policy with you, let's say they have cancer, you can go in and you can convert that term policy to an IUL or a whole life. So now you're giving them the least amount of expenses in their IUL or whole life. They're getting the most amount of growth. Now they're getting a cheap term policy on the side that's going to give them a little bit of death benefit, and you're securing their future, meaning they can put in more money if they want to by setting up an extra policy. And recently, I've had way too many people ask me, do you set these policies up? Do you do financial reviews? Do you do taxes? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I can't believe that I haven't stated that well enough in my videos or on my page. But yes, we do. We work in all 50 states. I have personally over 20 advisors and counting, 3 CPAs on the firm, a JD LLM tax attorney and tax strategist. We have everything. CIPAs, CLUs, CHF, whatever you want, we have it. Meaning anything to do with a dollar bill, whether you make $20,000 a year or $20 million per year or $200 million per year, we have someone on staff that is qualified to handle your situation. If you made it this far, send me a DM with any question you have. Send me a DM asking, can you do this, and this? Because I will. Hey, I answer every single one of my messages, every single one of my comments. I like everyone's comments. That is me. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you want to know if we can help you out, just send me a direct message, please. P.S. If you're an agent and you're out there with those 3-letter agencies and you want to get out of the IMO game, you want to get away from all the trash, you want to write correct policies, you want to do what's best for the client, or let's just say you're a life insurance agent and you want to offer securities, you want to put somebody in assets under management. They want an IRA. They want it managed. Come to us. We can get you paid on that. And let's say you don't have an estate planner and a lot of your clients need a trust. You can come here and get paid on trust. Now it's not about getting paid. It's really not. You know what's great is when you can be a one-stop shop for every single one of your clients. You can do their tax strategies. You can have a CPA manage their books. You can have a bookkeeper run everything for them. You can set up a trust for legacy planning. You can protect all their assets. You don't have to put their old 401k into an annuity. You can actually roll it into an IRA and manage it. If you don't want to put yourself in that tiny box and you want to do everything, hit me up.